Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Salesforce Simplified. I'm your host, Andy Whiteside. I've got Derek Cassese with me, who runs the Salesforce practice at XenTegra. Derek, how's it going?
Going well, going well. How you doing?
Don't name the customer, but you run the practice. You're the leader of the practice. You're also engaging clients and vendors all the time because that's what leaders here do. We're not just business guys behind a curtain somewhere. One customer you worked with this week, and what did you help them with?
Oh, well, we're helping a customer essentially streamline their quoting process on their opportunities, understand how to move fields around. Some of the stuff is pretty straightforward stuff, but some of it's extremely helpful because it's cutting down on clicks for all their reps.
Well, that sounds like you're helping XenTegra.
Well, yeah, maybe that was a client.
Well, that wasn't who you were talking about, I don't think.
No, it's not, but yeah.
But I love that story because, guys, we have to help ourselves with Salesforce. The reason why XenTegra has a Salesforce practice is because we couldn't find the advisement and help we needed. That's our commercial. If you're out there using Salesforce, you're a for-profit, you're a nonprofit, you're in healthcare, you're in manufacturing. We do this and we do this kind of stuff proactively, and we help customers in a very meaningful way because that's what value-added resellers do. That's the XenTegra commercial as it relates to Salesforce today.
Yeah, and I just add one little piece to that too, is it's not just about helping customers succeed, but it's helping them follow best practices and making sure that we're not, just trying to get a project done as quick as possible so we can get to the next project and, maybe not doing it the right way. So I'd much rather do 10 projects and do them 100% correct based on best practices, making sure we're setting the customer up for success and sustainability than do 20 poorly.
Well, and what you just described is the foundational principle of the company, which is client for life type scenarios. Every interaction is a potential for client for life, either locking them in or getting them on the train with us. Every interaction is that.
Yeah.
The blog that you said you want to cover today, it's called A Trailblazer Story. It is, what is a trailblazer? Trailblazers are truly the heart and soul of Salesforce. Everyone who wants to innovate and deliver success with Salesforce can be a trailblazer. I don't know that that's that far away from my statement of, on the partner side, client for life types of scenarios, helping them blaze a trail. Why did you pick this blog?
I just think it's a really good topic to cover because not everybody may understand the whole concept behind Trailblazer. I know that folks in XenTegra have seen me wear behind it. There's a following behind it. There's a concept behind it. It's obviously the Salesforce marketing engine has created it for a reason. So I wanted to just take time. This is going to probably be a little bit of a shorter discussion, but take the time to talk about what it is, what it means, etc.
Yeah. It says here in the beginning of the article, IDC report, Salesforce ecosystem will create 9.3 million new jobs and 1.6 trillion in new business revenues by 2026.
Yeah, that's
gonna need a bigger boat.
That's a big number, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps growing. I mean, when I joined Salesforce, they were quoting numbers about the Salesforce ecosystem. The Salesforce economy was what we're talking about, which is the Salesforce economy is the creation of jobs and revenue for the partner ecosystem because of the Salesforce platform. It's quite amazing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to like App Exchange, there are whole businesses built because of the Salesforce platform. They sit on top of the platform, they enhance it in some way or another. And that's how all the people involved in that business are making a living.
And it's just a matter of time before we find a customer who wants to go do that, and we go help them do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick call out, this article was written by Leah McGowan Hare, so I want to make sure she got credit for that. And then they kind of set the table by actually defining what a trailblazer is, not necessarily as it relates to Salesforce, but in general. You want to cover that part?
Yeah, so they have it listed: a pioneer, an innovator, a lifelong learner. I love that one. A mover, a shaker, right? That sounds kind of like commercial right there, but that it really kind of hits home. The next one, the next item in the list, a leader who leaves a path for others to follow. Okay. And then the last one, most importantly, a person who builds a better world for others.
Yeah.
All those hit home for me, right? Is, you know, I always love the mantra, if you leave a place better than it was when you got there, you're doing something right. Um, and then it's funny, I got the two 8-year-old boys, and they're not all, when we go and visit family and stuff, you'd think that they would just follow a sidewalk, right, around to go to a front door, but they don't, right? Because they're kids and they just do what they want, and they see the faster path to a front door is through the grass, right? And so they just blaze their own path. And then somewhere along the line is, you go through school, you go into your career and stuff, you get a little bit more hesitant to do that type of thing. And you potentially may end up just following an already existing path. And Trailblazers say, nope, we're going to continue to just take that grass.
Right. Yeah, I see stuff like this and I see definitions like that. And every time I'm like, well, should have called the company Trailblazer, not XenTegra, or maybe ZenBlazer or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so much aligns with what we're about. Next section talks about be a Trailblazer. What are they really trying to highlight here?
Yeah. So there's okay. So let's back up a minute. So the Trailblazer in the context of Salesforce, right? And you can kind of put that next to the things we just talked about. It's somebody that is pioneering, innovating, doing things for your business, your company, your customers, to try to make things better for them. You may be doing things differently. Maybe you're adding capabilities that don't exist on the platform, filling gaps, and it creates this individual who is doing stuff similar to a whole bunch of individuals, all trailblazers doing same stuff, right? Same types of things for different customers in different countries all over the world. And there are numerous ways to be a part of that community. Now, I know, Andy, you saw Dreamforce for the first time last September. So you got to see a little bit of what I'm talking about in the masses walking around in these Trailblazer hoodies and sitting in line waiting for a session, talking to people, and it's connecting with like-minded folks in the Salesforce world. And so they're talking about connecting, on the Trailblazer community. So online, you can communicate, you can collaborate, but they also have what I feel is like by far the best online learning platform in the world. And I don't say that just to say it. I say it because I felt that way when I joined Salesforce. The first thing you do when you join a company, right? You typically, a large company like that, you go through a bunch of training. And some of it's really cool, but some of it's because you have to go through it, right? Like sexual harassment training, ethics, what's our message? And that was my first experience of not doing like really cool topics in Trailhead, which is what I'm talking about. So if you just do Trailhead, a Google search, it'll bring you to this. It's basically taking topics and putting them in bite-sized pieces online, and it's gamified such that you get badges and points as you go through and learn various topics. The cool thing about Trailhead is even when I was interviewing at Salesforce, you can get access to developer orgs, hands-on access to real Salesforce orgs as you're learning, so that you can earn these badges. They're talking about and this is another thing, and you'll hear this if you go to any large Salesforce event, but Trailhead is an area where people can change their careers. So somebody may just say, you know what, I don't like what I'm doing and I want to do something different. They may hop on Trailhead and start poking around and find that they really enjoy analytics. Maybe they do, right? And so they go and they take all the badges and they do the super badges, which are, the badges are kind of like following a recipe, like do this, and with like next step. And then they grade you on how you're doing. But the super badges are much more like, here's what we want to do, but they don't give you all the answers, and you got to have to do it, right? And then you get graded on that. You get your super badge, and these are things that people are putting on resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and actually getting hired in the Salesforce world because of. And then the other piece is the golden Trailblazer hoodie. So I'm wearing the regular Trailblazer hoodie that's black. If you go to an event, you're inevitably going to see somebody walking around in a shiny sequenced gold Trailblazer hoodie. And you might say, what is that? And that is when somebody gets up on stage at an event and shares and inspires people with what they've been doing on the platform. And for their time and, getting up in front of that many people as a token of gratitude from Salesforce, they reward them with a golden hoodie, which is, it's pretty cool to see. And a lot of those stories are they're really, really amazing. I think you remember the guy at Dreamforce, the blind guy who created that environment for folks with disabilities and whatnot. Just amazing stories. It's just nice to see that type of stuff happening. And so I thoroughly enjoy being a part of it. I love wearing the Trailblazer hoodie, always have. That's why we have the campaign at XenTegra to, if you want to talk to us about your Salesforce, we're going to do a very similar thing where we're going to give you a token of gratitude for you giving us your time by actually providing you with your own Trailblazer hoodie. And I think that's pretty cool. You can also get one by getting 100 badges, by the way, on Trailhead. I think they still do that.
Mm-hmm. They're good. Yeah, that badge of honor, if you will, getting a Trailblazer hoodie. You can earn it through the credits. And we think that's part of building our community is enable and embrace the Trailblazer community within Salesforce. That's why we're giving away the hoodie as part of our go-to-market.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are like knee deep in Salesforce, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they just don't have one for whatever reason. But you give them that Trailblazer hoodie, they're gonna wear it. Trust me. And it's also crazy. It's almost like the Jeep wave. I used to have a Jeep way back, and you get the Jeep wave, and you drive by a Jeep, give them a wave, right? But if you're if you're in a Salesforce event, it's fun. They're everywhere. But if you're like walking around the grocery store and all of a sudden you spot a Trailblazer hoodie from somewhere, it's like instant conversation.
Right. It's
pretty cool.
It's bringing them together, no doubt.
Yep.
So this next section says, be a Trailblazer. You want to cover these bullets here?
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what I just talked about. I touched on the community. I touched on Trailhead, credentials, building the business is the other aspect of it is, like I mentioned earlier, the app exchange. So anybody, and I'm talking about anybody, can have an idea about building something on top of Salesforce's platform. And you can build it such that you package it and provide it on App Exchange either for free or for a cost. And now your App Exchange, you basically have your own business at that point, right? And it's just amazing to think about what that does for people that may not have a ton of resources. You just sit down, use internet and a computer, and you can actually build a business. So it's pretty powerful from that perspective. And then obviously the golden hoodie is the next part. There's a couple really good videos on this blog that go through and talk about their admins explaining what they feel a Trailblazer is, very similar to how I'm explaining it. And it's kind of neat to get their perspectives because it really is, from all aspects of industries, right? Where you may not even expect, you may not expect somebody that used to, maybe be a machinist on in a factory that says, I've had enough, my feet are killing me. And they sit down and they find the Trailhead and they start taking in a total drastic change, but they get certified up, they get badges, they get into this culture, this world, and then they get hired as a Salesforce admin. And you can see it's just life-changing for them because now they can still earn a living and do things that they enjoy doing from home. And
so I'm talking to a friend of mine whose daughter, who may listen to this at some point, she's in sales at Salesforce and she wants to be more technical. And I'm sitting here, listening to you now and some of the things I've been through. I'm like, there's a path right here that allows you to take that knowledge you gain from even being in the Salesforce ecosystem and then taking a step back, potentially career-wise, to take a step forward. And that's the the concept of going through the Trailblazer trainings.
And it's so accessible too. Like, there's so many learning platforms that you can go to. I mean, there's I don't even need to name them, right? You just search but they're all, you have to pay for them, right? They may have some free courses, but you got to pay to be on them to take these courses. You don't have to pay to use Trailhead. And it's interesting, like I was getting my hair cut last week and the lady cutting my hair, her son, um, just finished. He's a young kid. He switched his kind of mindset and what he wanted to do with his life. And he got like a certificate for development, web development. And she said, would love it if you maybe could, could help or give us some guidance because he hasn't been able to get a job. And it was terrible too, because she said that he got scammed. It was like a scam interview. The fact that people are doing this to young kids is just so insane to me. And so he was all frustrated. And, so, he texted me and I told him, look, you got to just get yourself out there and be confident in what you know. I said, but in the meantime, you've got access to all kinds of things. Go out and continue to learn the platforms that you enjoy learning. But I didn't end it without mentioning you can also go and check out Trailhead because this is free and it's only going to add extra things to your tool set. And so we'll see what happens. But
Derek, I want to ask you a question. Of the following three things, which are the most important? Your team and your employees and your ability to execute, the product that you sell, or the addressable market. When it comes to building a business and it surviving and thriving, which of those three is most important?
Well, wait, you said the team and the people you work with first?
The team and the people, yeah, your employees, your team. The number two is the product you sell. Number three is the market that you serve.
You put me on the spot here because you could answer this in multiple ways, but you've got to have, I kind of, obviously you got to have the people, right? But you got to have an addressable market because if you're trying to sell, a ketchup popsicle to somebody in white gloves, it probably won't happen for a line out of Tommy Boy.
That's right. Going back to your where you start, 9.3 million new jobs, 1.6 trillion in new business. If the market, like you can't go be a great developer on, let's say, Ruby on Rails, or maybe that's a bad example, but whatever.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, in this example, he was doing the MERN stack, which I didn't. I had to look it up to figure out what it was. But yeah, he was doing a particular web-based stack.
Yeah.
But I know that the demand out there for, people that are willing to learn sales. Yeah, to your point, it's enormous.
Because it applies to the business, not developing the next great app that does, I don't know, something in gaming. Whatever.
Mhm.
Got to go where the business is, where the money is, where the addressable market is. And that's what Salesforce has done to this point, and they're going to keep doing it. The difference, though, is two things. One, they're going to rely on their partners more because it diversifies around the risk. And number two is things like AI, generative AI, is going to allow people like us to use the tools to do more, to be more relevant.
Yeah, and I think that last thing you mentioned is really important because the generative AI phase that we're in right now, I'll call it a phase, is going to shine a light on what we talked about on the previous podcasts, which you can go listen to, but it's going to shine a light on data integrity and sustainability and complexity because you will not be able to leverage it to its fullest without having a handle on that. And the only way to do that is with the partner ecosystem and partners like us. It's the only way. They can't scale otherwise.
Well, and that's again what I was telling my friend whose daughter works in the Salesforce world at Salesforce. Like, I get it, and it's great to work for the vendor, but man, there's so much opportunity on the partner side. It is limitless, and the impact you can actually have on someone goes way beyond just selling that next set of licenses, which they may not even need yet.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, there's a lot of Salesforce partners. There's a lot. It is a very competitive space. They're not all the same. Some are huge, like your Deloitte's and things like that. And that doesn't bother me. Like if you've got a partner and they're doing you good, that's great. I ask you, what is it that they're doing that you like the best? So that I can understand that from our perspective. But it doesn't bother me because I know that there are a lot of companies out there that either don't have a partner, or maybe they're ready for a change, or maybe they just lost their admin. then that we are going to be able to help. But I also know that it's a community. And so there will be times where, for example, we need specialization that maybe we don't have yet at XenTegra. So we're going to need to team up with other Salesforce partners and collectively help these customers.
Yeah. And truly help them. And guess what? You get to make money and run a business helping them at the same time. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll wrap it up with this. They got a multiple choice question at the end, and this is hopefully an easy one, and the kind I used to like in school. The only kind I got right most of the time. What is a trailblazer? Inspires and thrives on seeing others succeed. That's A. B. Steps out of their comfort zone and learns new skills, even if it means a step back. I like to throw that one in. You're talking to someone who, had a great sales job out of college that took a massive step back and made a third of what they made in a help desk for only a couple months before I got promoted. B, steps out comfort zone. C, builds a better world for others. Or D, all the above.
I'll let you answer that.
I'm gonna go with all the above.
That is correct. Let's see. Fill it out and check it.
All the above, and it's got two of your. All right, so who are these guys? Who are these guys on the screen? That Salesforce has done a really good job with these. I don't know, characters.
Yeah, one of them's Cody, and the other one I always forget the name of the bear.
Cody and the bear. Yeah, Cody and the bear. Sounds like a TV show when I was a kid. Derek, thank you for the time. Thank you.
Cody is the bear. That's what it is. Cody is the bear. The small little guy at the bottom. So, yeah. But yeah,
listening and you want a better sales, or you want to just evaluate what you got, let us know. If you want to talk to us and get one of these Trailblazer hoodies, let us know. You want to go to Dreamforce 2024, Derek and I'll be there with a whole bunch of other people. Let us know. If you want a real partner, let us know.
Yeah, I'll be out at DX in about a week if you're listening to this before then. So, but yeah, and, if you want to just talk, hey, we're doing this. Is this the right way to do it? Let us know.
Yeah, love to do it. All right, Derek, thanks. And we'll do it again in about a week. Thanks.
Yep.